Kadate Talk TV. Ku danna subscribe sannan ku danna ƙararrawa domin sani da zarar mun ɗora sabbin shirye-shiryenmu.
The 28th Commandant of the Nigeria Defense Academy, Major General Adeni Oyebade, is already making giant strides in expanding the frontiers of development in the institution.
The only way you can really assess the outcome of what you do here is by the quality of our officers and of our officers when they go on operations. And Liberia, Sierra Leone, Sudan, Angola, Democratic Republic of Congo, and of course, in country, we have demonstrated the capacity. And I dare say, without any misconception whatsoever, the Nigerian Armed Forces has remained one of the strongest institutions in land that has kept the peace in this country. And of course, as NDA, we are proud that we are the factory that has produced these officers and now women of our four armed forces. The curriculum of the institution, that's Defense Academy, is constantly and regularly interrogated. We don't just train our young men and women, our cadets, in conventional warfare, because we have since realized and recognized over the last 20, 30 years plus that the battle of the future, which is now, is going to be more of intrastate conflicts, of which the military must be fully prepared. It has been challenging to transform from a solely conventional army fighting interstate wars to fighting intrastate conflicts like we have seen, the insurgency, the spate of crime which has gone haywire. And we have seen also that the Nigerian Defense Academy over time has incorporated internal security operations, training modules into the training of our cadets. We constantly interrogate how to bring in fresh ideas, learning, taking from the lessons of our operations in the field, and to bring to bear in our training, so that these cadets, once they leave here, they have a very good idea of the kind of conflicts they're likely to face, because it's possible when they leave here, they may not have the luxury of going for another course, depending on the exigency of duty. They may be launched immediately, as it happened during the Nigerian Civil War. Some of them left the academy and they went straight into war. So recognizing that, we have introduced several forms of ICT in our training. We do simulation exercises. We draw from lessons from the field. We also upgrade our equipment, with which we train our cadets. Okay, we also let them know that the fighting, the battlefield that we face today is not a battlefield of 40, 50, 60 years ago. And in that light, they are constantly being trained. And to that extent, the Nigerian Defense Academy has done a lot. And we also recognize the importance of law of armed conflicts, which we train our cadets to understand that, look, fighting is just one thing. There are rules and regulations. Even as I speak now, we have some of our cadets in Italy where they are participating in the international competition on law of armed conflict. We do that every year. And this is further to expose our cadets to interface with other academies and their cadets, and also to learn new things. And when they do come back, we interrogate what they have learned and try to extract those good things we think is necessary for our training. The Nigerian Defense Academy stands shoulder to shoulder with other military academies in the world.
The Commandant Nigeria Defense Academy also works with a capable lieutenant.
It is my duty to ensure that our training is geared towards achieving the right needs, both in academic and military training, to ensure that we bring out the best products for the three services. We have currently introduced the counter-terrorism, counter-insurgency operations training. At the same time, we have the laws of armed conflict Specifically, we have tried in as much as possible to empower the instructors and the lecturers, giving them the proper training that is required for that training, and at the same time ensuring that the lecture now is interactive. No more a lecturer standing in front of cadets, and giving them precise later on, but let the cadets be involved in the lectures, coming out to present, and ensuring that at all times, they are involved in a way so that at least we're bringing out modernization into the training.
Professor Azubuike Soni Nwanko oversees academic activities in the academy.
What distinguishes NDA as a world-class university, certainly in Nigeria, is down to its people. Very often people look at fixtures, systems, and superstructures, but these things do not make a university. Human capital or intellectual capital does. So I think that the greatest asset of NDA should be its own people, a bunch of dedicated men and women who are professionals to the core, who are dedicatedly doing their job and expanding boundaries and frontiers of knowledge. So for me, this actually is the greatest asset of NDA. But in addition to that also, the academy over the past 35 years of having a degree awarding powers has also invested in some basic infrastructure that enables teaching, research, and improving the environment of learning. So all of this put together makes NDA to have the foundation to be a Category 1 university in the Global Committee of University System, certainly in Nigeria. The unique selling point, USP for NDA postgraduate school, some people will very easily tell you that it's nestled in its own space. It's the only postgraduate business school that has a campus of its own, almost like an autonomous entity, but it's not autonomous anywhere. And it's unique in Nigeria. And this is where, for example, we applaud previous commandants who have worked assiduously to bring the PG school to where it is now. And current commandant, Major General Adeni Oyebade, who has committed just about everything to ensure that our PG school remains #1 in Nigeria. At this point in time, I do not think there's any other postgraduate school in Nigeria that equals NDA PG school.
For the 65th regular course as well as the Navy and Air Force cadets 66 regular course here to be introduced special guest of honor.
The cadets are exposed to various kinds of comprehensive military training, simulations cutting across the Army, Navy, and the Air Force. Academic and military training go hand in hand with discipline.
In molding cadets to be officers, we basically look at 3 key things closely related, which are critical to achieving the mandate of the college. First is leadership development, because cadets are meant to be leaders on commission. They are meant to command men into combat. So that leadership attribute is absolutely key, and will ensure that before commission they have acquired enough leadership skills to be able to lead troops into combat. Second is character development, again also tied to leadership, to ensure that cadets are trained on all facets of character development: moral in terms of integrity, honor, professional in terms of being able to execute assigned tasks successfully, even social, being able to live honorably both in public and civil life, and also in terms of civic, being able to have emotional intelligence, empathy, interpersonal skills. Now these are the foundations of officers' cadre. Once the cadets are sufficiently trained in these key attributes, their ability to function is not in doubt, and that is all. Now, in terms of professional training, we grade them through several range of key areas, starting from the physical fitness, which we achieve through normal training, endurance, swimming, and other.